Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy NRNG, more RNG, the boy Buster the man. And we back at the game with another banger for y'all today. We got Ghost had the most unique DLC out of all COD games for me. And I ain't gonna lie to you, COD Ghost is underrated in my opinion. Personally, I ain't gonna lie to you if the shoe fits, cause I feel like you could have did way more a little bit in COD Ghost, but the only thing that really killed it was the maps. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. But for me, we finna see how COD Ghost had the most unique DLC out of all COD games. For me, get right into it, man. For me, get y'all food, get y'all grub, Doty, whatever. Let's get right into the video.
I don't think Ghost deserved the hate it got. Sure, it had a crazy fast time to kill, and the large maps had god-awful spawns, but this year of
hold on. Let me fix the screen. Hold on. Alright.
Call of Duty had something new at every corner. From Extinction being vastly different from zombies and super fun, to the map-specific field orders giving players different streaks to use throughout their matches. Field orders were special. During a match, a briefcase would spawn, allowing both teams to fight over control of it. Once grabbed, a special challenge was issued to the player. Either complete it and be rewarded a special kill streak through a care package, or die and have the order picked up by someone else. These special kill streaks ranged from dropping a chem strike, killing everyone and destroying the layout on the map strike zone, to mortar fire raining down on enemies on the map Warhawk. These field orders are a huge reason I'm even making this video, that and to give Ghost the love it deserves, but the main game dropped with only 5 maps containing field order kill streaks. But that changed very quickly with the DLCs for this game, and that's the perfect transition. Also,
like, I really gotta speak on this too. The DLCs for this game was so different. Bro, you could be Michael Myers. Remember, I know y'all remember playing in the Black Ops days, or Black Ops 2 days, Michael Myers, just regular. But you could actually, there's a field order. When you complete the field order on the map, I forgot what map it was called. Once you complete the field order for the map, you have to get the kill streak. It was like a juggernaut, but it turned you into Michael Myers. Literally, like you had the Michael Myers, everything on, the mask, all that junk, and the axe. That shit was different. I feel like COD Ghost definitely was, it was him different.
A little Ricto lore here. COD Ghost was the first video game I put up on my channel.
And yeah, so I hope y'all enjoy the channel, and I hope y'all will stick around.
Fact too, I ain't gonna lie to you. My first video on probably my first gameplay on YouTube was COD Ghost 2. Like, that's like a big throwback on my original channel, but that was like with my little brother when I was like 12.
Trying to see it flourish and grow big, and I hope to see plenty of subscribers.
COD Ghost was released on November 5th, 2013. This game released on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Wii U, and PC, but was also a launch title for the new Xbox One and PlayStation 4 at the time. Yes, even back then, COD just couldn't let the old consoles go. This game was understandable, but Black Ops 3 still being on 360 2 years after this? Anyway, Ghost was developed by Infinity Ward.
Black Ops 3 on 360 is crazy.
And this was their first game adapting to the Season Pass model Treyarch put in place, releasing 4 DLCs through its yearly one, promptly named Onslaught, Devastation, Invasion, and Nemesis, spelling out Odin, a hint at the major space station prevalent in the game's main story. These DLCs all dropped with 4 multiplayer maps and 1 extinction map. Some held other add-ons to the DLC like Black Ops 2 before, but that's a matter for later. Onslaught was the first DLC for Ghost, releasing January 28th, 2004.
This DLC when Onslaught dropped, do y'all know what? When this first dropped, you know how badly I bet my mom to get me this DLC, bro. What, bro? I remember one time, just off topic, what Xbox Live was for $1. Well, my mom still didn't want to get it for me. Literally $1, like not even no tax, and I still couldn't get it. Crazy. But this gun right here, this Maverick, this gun right here, I'm pointing like y'all know what I'm talking about. This gun right here with the sniper rifle was valid. It was kind of a little bit slow, but the assault rifle though, the assault rifle was pushing.
14 on Xbox and February 27th for PlayStation and PC. At this time, Activision was still partnered with Xbox, so they received all the DLC a month before the other system. This DLC contained the multiplayer maps Fog, Ignition, Bayview, and Containment, as well as the extinction map Nightfall. But that's not all. Players would also receive the Maverick and its A2 variant when purchasing this DLC. Originally an assault rifle, the A2 version added a longer barrel and a scope, turning itself into a sniper rifle. This gun didn't take off like the Peacekeeper did, but I still enjoyed getting more content out of my DLC, and I loved using this gun in Extinction. First map we look at is Fog, and no, I did not save the best for last. Fog is a map any horror
Facts, bro. fog, bro. This is the map where you could be Michael Myers, literally.
Fan would love. Located in an eerie campsite in Washington, USA, the creepy cabin is a main focus point, having plenty of close quarters combat throughout it and a secret passage in the basement, but players could also get some sniping and long range action through the secondary windows as well as some of the cliffs around the cabin. A cave was also here along the edge of the map, and the flow this map provided was super fun for gameplay. This map has countless horror references, from Ash's car from Army of Darkness to Dale's camper from Walking Dead. Even has a little hat on it. But the biggest reference isn't a reference at all. Like I said earlier, this DLC added insanely fun field orders to some of these maps, and this one started it all off right. If a player could manage to complete a field order on this map, they will be rewarded an all-time high. The player would don the iconic jumpsuit and white mask, armed with an axe. You could run around this map, killing unsuspecting players as a Halloween.
I don't know, bro.
It
COD
truly was
really
an incredible
used to be fun at
experience,
times.
and this alone put this DLC as one of the best out of all Call of Duty games. The next map for Onslaught was Bayview, located surprisingly in Bayview, California, on a small marina boardwalk. This map had a lot more going on than you would think. On the coast, we see a trolley that goes back and forth along its tracks. This gives players cover as well as an obstacle for gameplay. Entering some buildings might also trigger a metal detector, alerting enemy players of your position. At first, this map has a cozy holiday vacation feel to it. Well, until you look off the coast and notice the naval destroyers and ships almost eager to destroy things. And this brings up this map's field order. For this map, if completed, the player would be rewarded a mortar fire kill streak, similar to Warhawk, though these mortars come directly from the aforementioned destroyers. Ghost Story was very much about war on American soil, so seeing ships like these off the coast of California is almost scary to witness. Next, we see the map Containment. Located in the urban streets of Mexico, this map was mostly close to medium quarter combat, giving shotguns plenty of small spaces to get the drop on players.
What niggas know about Containment? If you really actually play
still spots for snipers to sit and get kills. Both teams spawned on opposite sides of a bridge in the street, and this desert feel sits very well with the decor of this map. If a player were lucky to complete this map's field order, he would be rewarded with a mortar fire kill. Really? 3 maps with mortar fire by the first DLC? Even if this map just had a rehashed field order, I still find myself remembering this map a lot. It was a small map, super fun and fast. The last multiplayer map for Onslaught was Ignition. Ignition is set in an abandoned Odin launch facility in Florida, and this launch site pertains to Ghost's main story as it's set in a near future. Also, real quick, I will never forgive Infinity Ward for not continuing it.
Word to my mom, I'm not forgiving these niggas for not continuing the story on this shit. Bro, when I tell you, most underrated COD campaign I played as a jit, right here. Right here. My nigga, I'm ruining for y'all if y'all ain't playing. My nigga Logan gets kicked in the face by Rourke, and then he gets taken away right in front of his brother, and gets tortured just like Rourke did. And then it ends up going AWOL and turning on him. And then niggas don't continue the story?
As it's set in a near future. Also, real quick, I will never forgive Infinity Ward for not continuing this game's story. Never. Anyways, one thing you might have recognized if you played Modern Warfare 2, but Ignition is a remake of the fan favorite map Scrapyard. Everything feels oh so familiar with this map, though instead of being located in an old boneyard, this place has a more of a space and rocket feel to it. With the field order of this map being directly related to the giant F1 engine, if a player would complete this field order, they could activate the engine, killing anyone underneath or inside the tunnels. This field order also was able to be complete multiple times in one match, unlike a lot of the others. And that's pretty cool if you ask me. I mean, at least it wasn't mortars again. Now, before I talk about the Extinction map, I wanted to talk about something the devs did with this game's DLC. They wanted to link the multiplayer experience with Extinction, so throughout all 4 maps, players could participate in an Easter egg hunt. Hidden on the maps was 1 Extinction egg each, and if a player found all 4, they would be rewarded 2,000 XP. This map's egg, players could find it sticking out of the Tunnel West's walls. For Containment, the egg was hidden on top of a red-roofed building in the northwest corner. On Bayview, the egg is hidden behind a fence on the southeast dock, and the egg on Fog is inside a pit in the tunnel next to the cabin. This was a cool addition to add something directly related to the extra game mode for Ghosts. And from now on, I'm just going to say these as I explain the maps in the next DLCs. And now, for the last edition of Onslaught, players would get access to the Nightfall Extinction map. Located at the Nightfall facility in Alaska, this map had plenty of new things for Extinction and its story. New cryptids, as well as a new quote-unquote wonder weapon named the Venom X. This thing was pretty cool, having you squeeze a cryptid egg in it for the ammo, and it fit well with the theme. Players started outside of this facility and had to fight their way into it, until ultimately fighting off against a giant breeder teased.
I didn't get to play a lot of Extinction, but when I played Extinction, it was fun. Like, I'm not going, like, for me, bare bones, if you played Extinction, you knew that it was fun. It wasn't not no... It's not what we have for Modern Warfare 3 Zombies.
Throughout playing the map. Even Treyarch didn't have giant bosses in its Easter eggs before this game. Extinction really raised the bar for side game modes in Call of Duty, and I really for the life of me don't understand why they never went deeper into this game mode. But that completes the first DLC for COD Ghosts. It was an explosive start to this game's DLC season, but let's see if they kept that fire going forward. Devastation was released on April 3rd.
Devastation. Man, I'm gonna let him talk.
Xbox and May 8th for everyone else. And held the multiplayer maps Behemoth, Ruins, Unearthed, and Collision, as well as the Extinction map Mayday. This DLC also gave players access to the weapon, the Ripper. Just like the Peacekeeper, this was an SMG assault rifle.
This gun, SMG, and assault rifle in one weapon, bro. I don't know why this gun hasn't made a comeback in any CODs. It came back in Infinite Warfare, but that was trash. Garbage. So we ain't even gonna talk about that. It's just the fact that Ghost did it so perfectly, bro.
Rifle hybrid, though far more literal. With the press of a button, the small, sleek SMG would stretch to fit a more assault rifle profile, adding so much to the gameplay provided by this gun. Rush into a building in SMG mode and instantly be ready to gun enemies down once outside. This super unique weapon would sadly only appear once more in Infinite Warfare, and I'd love to see it return in a new Call of Duty. This game would be awesome in Black Ops 6 Zombie. First multiplayer map for Devastation gives us Behemoth. Located on top of a massive excavator in Uruguay, this map was hell for snipers, giving them no chance to even pull up their gun. Though that never bothered me, I was always a running gunner anyway. The layout was very cool of this map, but I remember always being annoyed, like it just brought the tryhard out of the most lax player. This map's field order was called the Heli Gunner. Once obtained, players would gain control of a mounted machine gun inside of a helicopter, just like Black Ops' chopper gun. This map was super open, so this field order always felt rewarding to get, and sucked when the enemy's team had control of it. And I cannot forget the egg for this map. It was hanging off of the bottom of the excavator in the northwest side of the map. Next, we see the map Ruins. Similar to Fog, this map had a special guest, but we will get there. Ruins is located at a mountaintop Mayan temple in Mexico. This medium-sized map was mostly great for SMGs and shotguns, but snipers could still get some action on top of the temple. The look of this overgrown ruin was only matched with its field order. Once completed, a nearby volcano would erupt, sending debris crashing onto the map, killing any player it hit. Oh, you thought this map only had one field order? No. Once a player completed the secondary field order, they would be rewarded the Predator. Just like Michael Myers from before, players would transform and gain use of all the Predator's tools, from active camo to wrist blades and plasma casters. This was by far the best field order they had managed.
Best field order they ever made out of this DLC. Best field order. If you real niggas know, if you know, you know. This jump was probably the best thing for Michael Myers because you could be camouflaged, so niggas couldn't see.
Thus far, but I'm still not done. When the enemy's team finally managed to take out all the Predator's health, he would just sit there and laugh as he activated his self-destruct device, killing everyone on the map. It really felt like you were in a movie when you got this feel. Lastly, the egg was hanging on the ceiling inside a temple just off the eastern edge of the map. Third map for Devastation was Unearthed, located at a night.
Unearthed. If y'all know, y'all know. This is basically Dome from my
archaeological site in Yucatan, Mexico. These DLCs really showed how much the developers were proud of Extinction. And you bastards let them down! I'll never forget! Unearthed is a remake of the popular Modern Warfare 3 map Dome. Everyone loved Dome, so having it remade into a cryptid paradise was very cool. The setting matched so well with Ghost, and Infinity Ward knew what they were doing when it came to making multiplayer maps. Adding to the Extinction's theme, this map's field order, when completed, would give the player the Seekers. This spawned 3 Seekers from Extinction to search enemy players and explode when in close range. But the Easter eggs don't stop there. Players would also have access to the Venom X special weapon from Extinction. If players shot 3 cable supports to the crane carriage on the map, a crate would fall containing this weapon. It only had 10 shots, but worked just as it did in Extinction. I wonder if this is what gave Treyarch the idea to put the ray gun in Blackout. And lastly, if you looked in the hole in the room where the dome used to be on the old map, you would find the egg for this map's egg hunt. Whew, these maps really have a lot to talk about. The last multiplayer map given to us was Collision. A massive cargo ship has ran right into the Brooklyn Bridge in New York City. This map is mostly on the boat, with half damaged from the bridge and the other half unharmed. This small map was great for close quarter gameplay, and again I asked myself, why in a world full of remade maps have we not seen this in recent years? The field order for this map gave players access to a controlled strafing run that would devastate enemy forces. And the egg was hanging off the side of the bridge on the southeast edge of the map. But that brings us to this DLC's Extinction map, and probably my favorite map from this whole game mode. Mayday would land players on the back of a massive research vessel in the middle of the ocean. Swarming with cryptids, players would have to make their way through this ship till ultimately facing off with the Kraken at the front of the boat. This new map added crafting, something new to the mode that that added more than it seemed, allowing players to upgrade the Venom X in various different ways. The different objectives and holdouts players had to do for this map was #1 in my book, and I remember playing this map over and over again until I could beat it. I really felt like this was the standout DLC from this game. Before we move on to the next DLC, it would be criminal for me not to talk about the announcer packs. On April 22nd, Xbox players would be blessed with the soothing voice of Snoop Dogg as an in-game announcer, calling out kill streaks and objectives to whoever had it equipped. Something like this was never heard of in Call of Duty at the time. Ghost raised the bar and had some rather healthy DLC content for new players.
Ballistic vest ready. Those are some
Snoop Dogg really wasn't in COD.
Though we didn't only get Snoop
voice.
Dogs, players could also purchase the R. Lee Ermey.
And look at that Snoop Dogg. This is a younger ass Snoop Dogg. He look way older now, but like I did not see none of this. Like way young.
Though we didn't only get Snoop Dogs, players could also purchase the R. Lee Ermey announcer pack just like Snoop Dogg, and this replaced the normal announcer of the game with Lee Ermey in full drill sergeant mode, ready to yell and direct the player.
When they drop weapons, take them, you idiot!
Both of these packs being priced at only $3 was practically a steal. This game really was ahead of its time, and if it came out now exactly how it did, I bet people would see it differently. But let's talk in the comments. Do you think these DLCs were more fair for players? And while you're down there, why not subscribe? I've had a massive boom of subscribers, and I'd love for you to join the board. Invasion was the third DLC for Ghost and held the multiplayer maps Pharaoh, Depart.
Well, they brought back Favela, nigga. What? Bro. Man.
Mutiny, and a remaster of the Modern Warfare 2 map Favela. Though not 100% remaster, but we'll get to that. As well, players got the Extinction map Awakening. First up is the map Pharaoh. Located in an abandoned archaeological dig site within an ancient palace in Giza City, Egypt, this map holds a lot of cool secrets based in Egyptian mythology. From jarred scarabs that can be released to kill players, to a secret treasure room players can access by turning 3 torches upright. Most of this map is outside, yes, but the few access points to the temple helped ground you to this setting. Field order for this map is rather cool as well. If completed, a player could gain access to the Blessing of Anubis. This would give that player all perks in the game for 4 lives, just like the Specialist bonus from Modern Warfare 3. Lastly, the Extinction egg for this map was rather tricky. Hidden behind some smoke, players had to look off the map's boundaries in the northeast tomb room and they could find the egg. The next map, Departed, takes us to a De los Muertos festival in Mexico. Colorful floats litter the streets of this rural Mexican town, being quite the eye-catcher. I remember this map being all over the marketing for this DLC. Fitting to the theme of the map, the field order would turn the player into a death mariachi. Wielding a Kimbo 44 Magnums, any player killed by the death mariachi would join the band as an ally and would help kill enemies. And lastly, the egg for this map was hidden behind a breachable wall in one of the main spawn points. Next for Invasion gave the players the map Mutiny. Located at an old pirate hideout in the Caribbean, this eerie island fits the bill perfectly. From a docked flagship to the empty prison cells, this harbor was hard to beat when it came to looks. This map held 2 field orders. First was a cannon barrage that once attained would launch cannons from a nearby pirate ship. This is just mortars again, isn't it? Luckily, the other field order would summon a ghostly crew of 2 dead pirates to follow and aid the player. Nothing can make me dislike this map, and I don't even like pirates all that much. The last multiplayer map we see brings us back to a surefire classic. I mean, I called my first nuking on this map. Favela is set in a multi-layered slum of Rio. It's not a remake, no, but they did take the old map and progress it through time, completing the construction on some of the buildings or completely destroying others through natural decay. This map was surely special. This, of course, was inside Ghost, so now it had to have a field order, and this one captured the feel of Modern Warfare 2 perfect. When completed, a player would gain control of a Y8 gunship, very similar to an AC-130, which was a doozy of a kill streak to use on this map. I think this style of remake was perfect and would love to see something like this again, taking some map that is destroyed and making it a new. Imagine Stonehaven from this game's base maps, but it's back in the day when the castle was strong and new. And the egg for Favela is just near the graveyard. Lastly, players would get the Awakening Extinction map. This map takes players deep inside of an underground hive infested with cryptids. This bright and colorful map was severely different than the other maps before it and showed players how the cryptids lived here on Earth. For this map, players are tasked to retrieve the cortex from inside the Ark. This cortex is a key element in learning the secrets of the Ancestors' powers, and the Ancestors are ultimately this mode's big bad. This map ends with a boss fight against the mammoths guarding the Ancestors' lair. But that is it for the Invasion DLC, and I'd say this map pack held some really amazing maps for this game. The last DLC we would look at for COD Ghost was named Nemesis. This pack released on August 5th for Xbox and September 5th for PlayStation and PC. With purchase of this DLC, players would gain access to the maps Dynasty, Gold Rush, Showtime, and Sub-Zero. And the
Showtime, my favorite map out of this whole DLC. Showtime, the best
last
map
ever Extinction map made, Exodus. It's almost bittersweet to talk about, really. Dynasty is up first. Located inside the market of a lakeside village in China, this map was mostly close quarters, another small map on Ghost Belt, might I add. This map held paper lanterns and traditional Chinese dragons. It had a real charm about it, even having some nice cherry grove trees. If a player could manage to complete a field order on this map, they would be rewarded the FYL-21 airstrike. This was basically the Harrier for Modern Warfare 2, and have I talked about how cool these field orders are yet? Every game would always launch with a set amount of kill streaks, but adding them in as a dynamic to the game, you really can't beat that. The egg for this map was located on a small boat with red sails sitting outside of the southwest corner. Next up is the map Gold Rush. Located in an abandoned American gold mine. Though still operational, the rails in the mine held 2 mine carts that would travel around killing any player hit, but players still could ride in these carts and use them as a fast escape. This map held many dynamics, including a large elevator that could be moved up or down. The old west feel of this map worked perfectly with a gold mine, and was yet another incredibly themed multiplayer map. So far, these maps all have been so vastly different than each other, it's just insane. Some could argue, yes, you do not see this much dedication to theme in the maps made today. The field order for this map was similar to the K9 unit of Black Ops, releasing a vicious pack of wolves to hunt out the enemy team, and the egg could be located inside the south mine shaft hanging on the left part of the cavern. Our third map for Nemesis, Showtime, brings players to Greenway Park in San Diego. Showtime is an exceptional remake of the COD 4 map Shipment. Taking the container layout of the small map and setting it inside of a giant arena during a death game just makes perfect sense.
I got my first nuke on this map. What? That's why.
Though this isn't a complete one-to-one remake, as players could leave the arena and head to the outer buildings overlooking the arena. The death game setting of this remake is matched massively with its field order. Now, what's a death game without a little RNG, right? Completing your field order would earn that player a spin on the slot machine, giving a range of prizes to the player. There were 5 in total. First would drop 6 care packages for the player and his teammates to collect. The second would activate sentries in the corner of the map, killing enemy players. Third would release a toxic gas in the edge of the map, closing it off and forcing combat in Shipment's original layout for a time. Fourth would be a jackpot, giving all 3 previous rewards. And the last would be a KEM strike, detonating and killing all enemies. These slots were not restricted to once a game and really embodied the fun of field orders. And of course, the egg on this map is located inside a room with broken windows. This can be seen from the stage west of the map. And this last map for COD Ghost brings players to a submarine base in northern Canada. Sub-Zero was a medium-sized map that supported all types of weaponry. This map just reminds me so much of Sub-Base from MW2 that I can't for the life of me understand why they didn't just remake that map for this map. They're practically the same, or am I just tripping? The field order for this map would cover the map in a thick blizzard, hindering players' vision, but also releasing 3 creatures to hunt down enemy players for the duration of the blizzard. This was a rather cool dynamic, as just a blizzard would be lackluster, really. And the last egg for this last hunt is at the bottom of the northeast silo inside the map. But that concludes the multiplayer map for COD Ghost. Each and every one told its own story throughout the map itself, as well as the field orders for those maps. You really couldn't show a better representation of DLCs being made solely for the fun of the player. Paid for or not, you knew you were getting a buttload of content when obtaining a DLC from Ghost. But we are not finished. The last Extinction map was named Exodus. Located at a Space Force base in California, this map tells the end of the Extinction story. We find ourselves at humanity's last respite. Surrounded by cryptids, the ancients have arrived. Players need to get power to the shuttle so they can launch important personnel to the safety of a low-orbit space station. This map is a cluster of everything we've seen up until now. All the cryptids, all the missions, all in one place. I really had a blast playing through the stories of these maps, even if the ending didn't feel as grand as I felt it could have been, considering some of the bosses in the maps before. But still, no side game mode has come close to as cool as Extinction, excluding when zombies was first included, of course. I wish they would try something different. Nope, just zombies this and Warzone that. But that wraps up the DLC season for COD Ghost. Probably the most unique to come from any game Call of Duty has released. I really wonder what would have happened if it was better received. The jump pack of Infinite Warfare could have fit so well with a Ghost 2 game set in space, with Rourke training the protagonist in the way of the Ghost.
And Ghost had the most unique DLCs out of all Call of Duty games. For me, I honestly think it did. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll say like maybe Nemesis. The last one was probably subpar, but the rest of them, Onslaught and Devastation, for the 2 the 4 DLC map packs and 2 DLC guns. That shit was fire. But we gonna wrap it up right here, man. If you made it to this point in the video, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And it's your boy NO Randy. We out of here, man.